Thank you, Dr. Nirmal. I think most of my topic has already been covered by Dr. Kalra. So I'll just flip through my present slides. And I think it's all about recognizing errors, minimizing them, and then try to improve them. So as we know, errors are inevitable and they can happen anywhere to anyone, and hospitals are no exceptions. And every day we get to hear these news that two doctors get jailed for surgeries that cost 66 their vision. Government of Rajasthan ordered a ban on diagnostic camps following reports of clustered infections at several places. And even for a screening program, permission is needed. 18 lose vision after botched surgeries at an eye camp. And this is not rare. Every day in our hospital also we get to see patients who have been operated and the surgeries have been botched up. And these were a cluster of cases which were seen by our cornea surgeons a few years back. And there was deep infiltration and there was no material for surface scraping. And the biopsy was done, the material was sent for histopathology, and it was found that it was culture positive for nocardia. And that suggests that it could be because of the infected phacoblades. And then the other two cases came which could not be saved because they came later and they lost vision. So what is the root cause of all these disasters? It is not because of any personal reasons, but it is, as Dr. Kalra rightly pointed out, it is because of the system failure leading to errors. That there is inadequate training and supervision, improper communication, lack of monitoring and of instrument cleaning, and lack of protocols for sterilization, more traffic in the operation theater. So this is the state of condition in most of our operation theaters, where there's no proper infrastructure, improper sterilization techniques, same set of instruments are being used for multiple surgeries, and more volume of surgery and less staff, crowded theaters. Also, there's no proper pre-operative workup or intraoperative evaluation of risk factors. Minimum, the proper workup should be done pre-operatively to minimize risk for infection. Intraoperatively, factors like breach in asepsis, reusing solutions and instruments, contaminated instruments, prolonged surgeries, all these factors should be noted, which are often ignored. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is incomplete medical record. And again, if you search in Google, you see so many cases where where the doctors have been sued for improper documentation or incomplete prescription. Again, as Dr. Kalra talked in his presentation, that there is changing perception of patients, and now patient or customer is an active partner in the management. There is changing demands of the patients, and the patients demand best clinical outcomes, and an error can cost you billions. So how can you improve that? If you go in for accreditation help you achieve clinical excellence by focusing on different aspects of quality, like by providing integrated systems of governance to actively manage patient safety and quality risks. It encourages you to practice evidence-based clinical practices with right qualification and skills and approach to provide safe, high-quality care, robust system of incident management, and patient awareness about patient rights and engagement. So just I'll go one by one. How to achieve clinical excellence? By having an integrated system of governance to actively manage patient safety and quality risk. You have to have a robust system wherein you can take care of various dimensions of quality, adopting best clinical practices. One should have in their hospital agreed and documented clinical guidelines and practices which are based on best clinical practices. Then proper documentation and monitoring and audit. I think that is very, very important. Whatever practices you are following, you have to regularly audit those practices, the protocols, the outcomes, so that unless you monitor them, you are not going to achieve the best. Medical record, one should understand, is a legal document. So there has to be a common standard for documentation for the entire organization, right from assessment to the plan of medical care, to the progress note, and then finally to the discharge summary. So step by step, the documentation has to have some common standards. The philosophy of quality system is that if you don't document it, that means it didn't happen. If you have a proper documentation, you can even track dreaded complications like endophthalmitis. For that, you have to document each and every step right from the beginning of the surgery, the batches of consumables, the autoclaving log, the indicators, whether they have changed the colors or not. So if you have the OR data properly documented, you can find out what is the cause of infection. Then you should have, whenever you have an infection, you should document it. There has to be a form wherein you can note down each and everything about the details of the case, why it has occurred. And one should know when to raise an alarm. Fill an incident form. If you have one case, immediately inform and review the case. If you have two cases, you send this thing to microbiology and review all relevant factors. And if you have 2 cases in 50 or 3 in 300, consider closing the OR till investigation is complete and changes made. So I mean to say that you have to be very serious if you get even one case of infection or severe inflammation in your roti. Actively activate your recall process. Like if you have suspicion of a breakdown in your sterility chain, you have to recall all instruments which were sterilized on that particular day in that particular batch. And even recall the patients. If you have operated on the previous day, call all the patients to see whether there is any unusual infection. Check your surveillance activity record, and as Dr. Kalra pointed out, set an antibiotic policy for your hospital, because the policy will depend on the microbiological profile, and you can formulate your antibiotic policy. Then most important thing is as I suggested, do audit for cataract or any other surgery and find out how are your results, whether there is any deterioration. Take a record, keep a record of complications so that you can improve on them. Then third and very important is clinical workforce should have right qualification, skill and approach. And for that, the very important criteria is credentialing and privileging and scope of practice for medical practitioners and self-evaluation. I don't, like very few institutions are practicing credentialing and privileging. That is, the right people should do the right procedure. Everyone can't do everything. There is specialty practice and one should follow that. Self-evaluation is the best technique. For the trainees, one can adopt Oscar scoring, complication rate, monitoring, average surgical time, and visual outcome of cases. So in our hospital, we follow all these practices. The Oscar score in OT, wherein each step of the surgery is monitored. Credentialing of the doctors are done. Then fourth is clinical risk management and programs for untoward events. Like if any call for event occurs in the hospital, one has to record it, do a root cause analysis, and so that that incident doesn't recur in future. So you have to monitor all the adverse drug reaction and do a root cause analysis. And it is very simple. You just do it with the help of a fishbone diagram. You just think about the common causes for that particular situation to occur, and just pen them down, and you will come to a root cause for that particular situation. Just for an example, there were errors in refraction in our hospital. So we just did a root cause analysis. 4 or 5 causes we could point out, like lack of training of optometrists, lack of monitoring of optometrists, errors in documentation, or lack of proper credentialing through validation. So if you take care of all these parameters, then you can prevent the occurrence of those errors in future. Similarly, other root cause analysis, if you have some surgical complication, a dreaded complication like expulsive hemorrhage, you can pinpoint certain causes like whether there was adequate preoperative evaluation of that patient, whether that was a high-risk complicated case, whether the block was proper, whether the technique was proper, or whether there is any patient-related factor. So you can just you think about all these causes, and then you will come to a root cause of this problem after analysis. Discuss sentinel events in a group of people who are able to take the corrective action for that particular incident. So quality is not just fancy equipment or smaller incision. It is doing the right thing, the right way and right away. So take all dimensions of patient's care into consideration, like equity, timeliness, effectiveness, patient-centeredness, and safety. And practicing quality will provide you best clinical outcomes. It mitigates the risk of adverse events. It improves the organization's reputation, and it promotes a safety culture and perception of quality care. Thank you.